Is looking ever more desperate, especially in China, where people are desperate to escape. The fortunate passengers who are able to evacuate are being put through essentially a human car wash upon their arrival at various destinations. At least 425 people have died so far from the respiratory illness, which means it has now surpassed the deadly SARS epidemic. Remember that back in 2002, 2003, when 349 people died on mainland China? Well, people have been trapped under quarantine and businesses are being crippled. Here in the U.S., there are at least
at the center of China's coronavirus outbreak. The federal government says it's making progress on an evacuation plan, and it's working to make sure families aren't separated. A number of other countries, including Germany, the U.S., and the U.K., have already airlifted citizens out of the outbreak zone. When Canadians will be airlifted remains unclear. Our government says it's still waiting for Chinese approval. Meanwhile, the novel coronavirus outbreak continues to spread. The number of cases continues to soar tonight, with more than 20,000 reported around the world. The death toll is also rising. It's now at 426. In our top story tonight, Michael Couture reports on the growing concerns among Canadians in the outbreak zone.
But please hurry and please.
20 people now, and numbers of confirmed cases are rising in other countries as well. Our Park Hee-jun starts us off.
The new coronavirus continues to spread, killing at least 425 people and infecting 20,438 in China as of early Tuesday. According to China's National Health Commission, that's an additional 64 deaths and 3,235 infections compared to the previous day. And all the new cases are in Hubei province, where Wuhan is located. It's been 2 months since the first case was confirmed in central China last December. Despite the Chinese government having declared war against the outbreak and pouring major resources into trying to contain the situation, the number of deaths has surpassed that of when SARS killed around 350 people in 2003. And fears are rising, especially from concerns that the actual number may be far higher than what China is reporting.
Generally, the agreement or the consensus in Wuhan is that the numbers are far being underreported. And that is the reason why, especially we, the international students, are quite more getting hopeless and worried, because we know the case is worse than is being reported.
The Chinese government has taken drastic measures to prevent the further spread of the virus, blocking Hubei province from the rest of the world. 50 million people have also been put on lockdown in Chinese cities. But figures continue to increase across the world. There are at least 15 confirmed cases in Hong Kong and 8 in Macau. 16 cases have been reported in South Korea and 20 in Japan. And earlier this week, the virus claimed the life of a person outside the Chinese mainland, a man from the Philippines. Meanwhile, in the U.S., 11 people have been confirmed to have the coronavirus, with 2 new cases reported in California on Monday local time. Countries are rushing to evacuate their nationals from Hubei province while enforcing stricter travel regulations to China. And the race to develop a vaccine to stop the spread continues in labs around the world. Park Hee-jun, Arirang News.
The strike appears to be gaining momentum. On Monday, around about 2,500 doctors and nurses.
Allegation that we are sort of not addressing this public health concern adequately. And certainly I don't agree with the allegation that we are putting politics above public health. This is a public health situation, and we are assisted by our experts in both external and in-house to tackle this very important situation.
And Darren, I just want to update you on the situation in Wuhan on Tuesday morning. One of those hospitals which is being assembled in record time to accept patients has now begun accepting patients. Around about 50 have been admitted to that mobile hospital. Another 3 hospitals, of course, are also under construction. And on Monday night, there was an important meeting of the Politburo Standing Committee. This is the most powerful body in all of China, of course. It includes the Chinese President, Xi Jinping, and that body made a rare admission saying there had been deficiencies and shortcomings in the way that China had responded to the emergency, and said that those officials who had failed would be punished, and said that China really had to improve